Okay, so this is super awkward, which is, I guess, appropriate. Before the show starts, we wanted to talk to you guys about when this episode was recorded. I guess they blew the lid off of us. We record our episodes about a week to 2 weeks in advance, depending.
Yeah.
So we recorded this right now. It is you're listening to this on Monday, March 16th, or at least that's when it was released. And at this time, some crazy stuff is going on with coronavirus. States are being shut down, for lack of a better term, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, and add your part. No, well, because your state started it first. You live in Pennsylvania. I live in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And in my state, they just announced that like all bars and restaurants are going to close at 9 p.m. and they will open someday in the future. Now they are allowing carry out and delivery for food.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's closed.
Yes.
So, and where you are, certain counties are going through the exact same thing.
Yeah. Our governor, instead of shutting down the whole state, which I'm sure eventually is going to happen, he's just shutting down counties that I guess he thinks are having issues. So he shut down the county to the north of me, and then another county. He shut down Montgomery County and Bucks County, and the other county, Chester County, and then also the county that I live in, Delaware County.
Yeah. So it sounds like eventually we'll probably just call it the state.
Yeah, I'm surprised Philly is still doing stuff. I think Philly only has a couple of cases, more like 4 or something right now, but who cares? They're Philly.
Well, maybe the people who have coronavirus get murdered before they can be diagnosed.
Maybe.
That might be why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say that we recorded this episode like 4 or 5 days ago, and things were a lot less serious at the time. So I felt like we should put this little preface on there. Sorry?
Did we record like this past Wednesday? Because I don't remember.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so it hasn't been like 2 weeks or anything. All right.
No, but when we recorded it at that time, we were just starting to talk about like social distancing, and we were just starting to talk about, these things. But literally that next day, everything went haywire in my state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in my state as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put this preface on there because I didn't want this episode to come across as flippant or like, it's not a big deal. Look at us. We're joking about it. It was during a time when it was much less serious.
Mm-hmm. Or we thought it was less serious.
You know what? Yeah. The perception we had was that it was less serious. We are not doctors. In fact, it's possible we're the furthest thing there is from doctors. So we do. I mean, I know that you would agree with this. We do recommend, staying home as much as possible if you're able to. Mm-hmm. Washing your hands as often as is legal in your county, and being careful. So please, enjoy the show. I think it was a really good show. We had a lot of good insight about how we were feeling about everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just be aware that, after that show was recorded, many more things got much more serious.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to hear it in the show, but I do think I'm going to get it. I still think that. So my opinion has not changed, but everything else has. So,
I mean, have you checked yourself today?
No, I don't know how.
Michelle is a musician with albums released as Everyone Except Me and artist behind the post-apocalyptic webcomic Stray Cats. She's kind, a bit shy, and furiously creative. Henrique is a filmmaker with over 24 films and TV shows as producer, director, and occasionally host. He also released a couple of music albums. He's bombastic, larger than life, and tenacious almost to a fault. Together, they've been best friends for a decade. This show is awkward.
I've washed my hands 4 times today.
That really?
Uh-huh.
But it's so early.
Well, I used the bathroom, so then I washed my hands, which is a normal thing. Mm-hmm. And then I went to lunch with my mother.
Okay.
And I washed my hands before I ate.
Okay.
And then I washed my hands when I got home. And then I used the bathroom, so I washed my hands.
Okay, I mean that's fair, I guess. That's what normal.
I mean,
people
two of
do.
those hand washes are not bonus. You know,
Yeah,
two of those
they're
are
just
not
regular ones.
They're just ones I would have done regardless of any potential global pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how many times have you washed your hands today? I feel like this is going to be the new thing we have to check.
I don't want to talk about it. I wash my hands. Okay, so it's really hard for me because I wash dishes all the time. So I am also washing my hands. So if we count that, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 times.
That makes you sound like a crazy person.
I know, but I didn't. I just washed a lot of plates and stuff. But I like, so first of all, I have less stringent hand washing things because I live by myself. So I just make sure my hands are clean when I leave my house and when I come back. But I did go out and show an apartment. So I washed my hands. I guess I went to the bathroom and washed them. And then when I came back, I washed them. And I also sanitized in between and didn't touch the people's hands, even though I really, really wanted to shake their hands. And there was an awkward moment where I almost started to. And then I was like, no, we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm already thinking a lot about at the beginning of April, I'll be doing a convention in Cleveland, and I'm used to shaking literally 300, 400, 500 people's hands a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna just not shake hands.
And I would say, like, don't touch elbows because you don't know what's going on with people's elbows. Do you know how often I wash my clothes? Like. No, just bow to them and you'll be good.
Just bow to them.
Bow to them, yeah.
I mean, I think the Vulcan hand salute is a pretty solid answer to this. It's weird. I was talking to my mother about it, and she's not too worried. She's just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already explained to her, I was like, well, you know, if I get sick, I won't let you anywhere near me. And she was like, no, I get it. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, did your company manage to get more hand sanitizer? And she's like, no, because the guy waited 4 more days after I asked him to order it.
No.
Yeah. So, so they're all going to die.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because more so I don't know what the likelihood is that I will be personally affected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying like it probably won't affect me. I mean, I do not know what the likelihood is that it will personally affect me. Because if it's like swine flu, which infected a lot of people in America,
mm-hmm.
if it is swine flu, like I think it was 1 in 5 Americans got swine flu.
Wow.
But I only found out that I knew a person who had swine flu yesterday.
Right.
So, and swine flu killed, a couple thousand people at least. I don't have the exact number in front of me. It killed thousands of people. Flus and pneumonias and stuff do kill people.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unfortunate truth. So I don't know. So I'm wondering, like, could it, with the amount of intensity for prevention that we're working on, if people really are washing their hands and maybe gathering a little less, will it be able to be that commutable? Will it get to that many people? Will 1 in 5 Americans get it? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if we know what the infection between people rate is, because some people are asymptomatic, or some people have such light symptoms that they're just like, oh, I just am sick today for a little while.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. And I do want to point out, before we go any further, the symptoms of the coronavirus are a dry cough and a fever, not a cold. You can have cold-like symptoms with it, but it's a cough and a fever.
A dry cough and a fever.
Yeah, it's like 90% of the people have a fever, 70% of the people have a dry cough. And then you can have cold symptoms, but they're very less likely. So
the way to remember that would be dry cough and a fever, 2 bits.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So far through this whole thing, and usually I don't want to talk about like hugely current events, but to be honest, as much as I feel I'm not panicking,
mm-hmm.
It is weighing on my mind. because information keeps coming up, and not really information about the illness, but information about the reactions to the illness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, there's no toilet paper, which I actually had a Twitter conversation with somebody who actually I follow them because they're a scary story narrator, kind of like what I do with Weekly Spooky. And I like their stuff, but they're Swedish. I almost said, but they're Swedish. But they're Swedish. No, but they're from Sweden, and they live in Sweden or Switzerland. Sorry, Switzerland. Same. It's exactly the same.
It's all the
way.
Same thing. Yeah.
But she's super nice. But she posted a news article that was about how, Americans, we have no toilet paper, and we're just like ravaging all this stuff, and we're buying ammunition like crazy, and da. And you're laughing, but I mean, it's not special that people, first and foremost, that people are buying up a lot of ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
That is totally normal whenever any world event happens.
Yeah.
That people believe could affect them in any way. People buy ammunition. So, I mean, it's just, and firearms in the United States. Right. So it's really not that special. When literally, like, when Hillary Clinton won the Democratic nomination, people bought a ton of ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, really, it's just kind of the way it works. You could set your watch by it. So, but she had mentioned like how crazy that was, and she was like, what do Americans think this is going to do, and blah, blah, blah. So I commented, and I was like, I just want to say, I mean, I live in Ohio, which I think is like one of the most American places that there is. I mean, because we're very in the Midwest, we're like, we're like the Midwestiest Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And here, like, there's not as much toilet paper on the shelf as normal, but there is toilet paper. Like, I can go buy toilet paper right now.
Yeah, me too. There's actually plenty of toilet paper around here.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
There's not a whole lot of Clorox wipes, but there are still Clorox wipes.
Exactly.
There's absolutely no hand sanitizer.
No, never. It's in the world.
Gone.
Yeah.
I think that by the time they realized what was going on with the hand sanitizer, it was too late to do the, like, you can only buy 4 at a time or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, they were just gone, and everyone was like, wait, there's no hand sanitizer. Yeah, I noticed the day, like, I bought hand sanitizer, just one thing of hand sanitizer just for myself because I was out, and I was like, oh, there's only like 2 bottles, and then the next day there were no, and they never came back. So
never, and they never will.
They never,
never will. I am curious, like, what it's going to be like when hand sanitizer comes back. Like, is like Purell going to do like a no? But I mean, like, are they going to do like a press release saying, like, just so you know, like, stores are about to stock it, because eventually they're going to make more.
Yeah, but by then everyone will be like, I don't want hand sanitizer.
That's probably true.
We're fine now. I really I feel like it's going to be like exactly with the surgical masks. Like, is in like 3 months there'll be surgical masks and hand sanitizer, and everyone will be like, okay, but I don't need that anymore. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Why don't you go back to the hospitals? They're the chachas who want this crap.
Exactly.
So, but I mentioned to the Swiss friend, that this isn't really happening where I am, and I don't think it's happening in the majority of America. It seems to be mostly happening in places like Seattle and stuff like that. Major cities on the coast.
Yeah, major cities that are being affected, significantly.
Or full of stupid people, coastal cities. Hey, you know what? The reason I made that joke is because if I had a fucking dollar for every goddamn time someone from New York or LA fucking referred to the flyover states, that's why I'm just going to say, where stupid people are, coastal cities.
Fine.
That's just my revenge, because I lived in New Jersey for 3 years, and I did work in LA, and I had to bite my tongue so many fucking times about the flyover states. It only hurts my feelings because we're so valuable. Like, we are like where everything is happening. Like, I mean, now maybe not culturally, but like, oh, you like driving cars? Guess where they're fucking made?
Yeah.
Oh, you like eating vegetables? Guess where you're getting most of them? In fact, I don't know if I ever told you the story. I had I'm not going to use any names, obviously, but I had met this musician, a somewhat comedic musician who played in Jersey a lot. He might have even lived in Jersey. But he was always playing at these events I was at, and he I hated him. I didn't like the guy at all. He was just this cocky, arrogant douche. And at one point he was talking about he was rolling his eyes talking about having to play shows in, I don't think he used the word flyover states, but he said I had to play a show in Iowa and I had to play a show in Nebraska. And he was like, it's like, what am I doing here? Like, why would I even be here?
What?
And I literally finally I gave up and I interjected and I said, what's wrong with Iowa? And he's like, well, nothing except that it's Iowa. And I literally was like, oh, I get it. Cause in Iowa, people can fix cars and do open heart surgery, but thank fucking God you can play a guitar and sing songs you wrote 20 fucking years ago. And he got really mad, which I guess makes sense because I directly insulted him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and this was 20-year-old Henrique. He was much more abrasive by and large.
But it's what musicians don't like playing in the Midwest though? I don't understand.
I don't get it. I mean, I love living in the Midwest. I like the way people are here. I like it. I just like it. So, but see, I've been roundabouting. So my friend in Switzerland, I pointed out that that's not really going on. And, and that, toilet paper and regular soap and, ammunition are all relatively available. And her reply, and I said, the only stupid thing about us is that our media is so excited to make us look so stupid.
Yeah.
To depict us as so stupid. And she replied and she was like, she was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't even think for 1 second that this is just a news story and that news stories are usually not true. And I was like, man, we're evolving as a world society.
Wow.
That somebody literally went, oh my God, I didn't even think about the fact that this is a New York Times article. So it's probably not true.
Wow.
Well, okay, not true is too strong. Probably embellished and inaccurate.
Yeah,
sensationalized. Probably not entirely disinformation, but not that far away from disinformation. If we're being legit.
That quote earlier, we were talking about something about Facebook, and there was a quote from my friend about how we're all gonna be sorry when all our family members are dying in the hallways of hospitals and all that stuff. And it's that actually came from a news article. She was quoting that. So,
well, I mean,
yeah,
you'll all learn, you'll all see, and then I'll be right standing on a pile of dead loved ones.
Exactly.
God, congratulations.
Yeah.
Look at all you've wrought in your being right on the internet.
Dude, I want to draw that now.
You should. You should. You absolutely should. But yeah, it's been stupid. It's been really stupid. Some of the things people are saying, and you and I talked about this the other day. The most fascinating thing are the people who are stop fear mongering. Also, this is really going to kill a lot of people in the same breath. I mean, I should say before you and I continue, anybody listening to this, we are not the source of information you should cite.
Yeah.
We're just doing the best we can as just people who are alive to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
These numbers could be wrong, but from what I understand, it's a roughly 20% hospitalization rate.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
For this. So 20% hospitalization, that is not going to fill... It would take an incredible amount of infection to have people just crowding the hallways of the hospital.
I think, I don't know. Maybe in places where there aren't a lot of hospitals.
I mean, maybe, but places where there aren't a lot of hospitals, there also isn't a lot of population, which means that there'll be less infections.
That's nice.
I mean, in general, things like these don't really affect rural areas very intensely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the cities where everybody's stacked on top of each other, breathing each other's warm air all day long. So, but no, so I mean, for God's sake, wash your hands, cough into your arm. If you get sick, avoid your elderly relatives and children if you can. And I don't know. I was actually a lot more afraid of this until I actually heard somebody say like that this could be the end of the world. And then I was like, oh, I don't care anymore. They've said that so much that I don't believe anymore.
Did somebody really say that though?
Well, they didn't say like it's going to be the end of the world, but they said like this is the next Black Plague.
Oh, geez, no, it's not.
And I was just like, man, first of all, why it got to be black? And then it's just. Come on. Don't get me wrong. People are getting sick. This is not SARS, but SARS was very easy to contain. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because SARS was super deadly.
Yeah.
And this is some kind of mutation of SARS.
Well, it's a coronavirus. Isn't that the cold virus family?
You're asking the wrong person.
I'm pretty sure it's just a new kind of cold thing.
I thought it was pneumonia.
Well, it can become pneumonia.
Oh.
And that's like when people like die when they get the pneumonia part, and then it doesn't get better. But it's not. It doesn't start out as pneumonia. It starts out as like it's like a cold friend. It's a new cold friend.
Huh. Well, I mean, it's and obviously it's dangerous, and you need to be careful.
Yeah.
And if you're over 50 and you get sick, you may want to just go ahead and go to your general practitioner and get ahead of it. Might be wise. But yeah, I'm just not. There are moments where I feel like I should panic, and that's something else that fascinates me. A lot of people don't seem to understand, or they don't want to understand how mania works. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I think is really important to point out. Like when I was talking to my Swiss friend, I mentioned that like people aren't buying tons of toilet paper and tons of canned goods and bottled water and all these things. They're not buying them because they believe that they will die without them. They're buying them because they believe other people are doing it, and it will mean that they will not be able to do it. Right. So their own fear of what other people will do is literally creating the scarcity they're afraid of.
Sure. Yeah. I'm running low on hydrogen peroxide, and I was thinking about buying some because maybe I'll never be able to buy it again. I didn't though. So
yeah, I almost bought an entire new bottle of hydrogen peroxide and a new bottle of rubbing alcohol, even though I have 2 bottles of each that are probably a third empty.
Oh wow!
And I almost never use them.
You don't? Yeah.
I mean, I clean wounds, but how much does it take? Cleaning your cut or whatever. I
just like pour the hydrogen peroxide onto my cut. So sometimes it spills a lot.
That's because you live like a fucking Kennedy. I dab it on a Q-tip.
Oh.
And then I gently tap the wound, and then I wring the Q-tip into
no.
I don't do that. But no, so I mean, but that's the thing is people don't understand that the mania is mostly people who think they're being reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in reaction to unreasonable people.
Yeah.
So what you end up with is no real way to stop the mania. Because you can say, well, there's no reason that you need a year's worth of toilet paper today. Mm-hmm. And then the person's like, yeah, but if everybody else isn't smart enough to know that, then there will be no toilet paper when I need 3 rolls.
Yeah.
So I better buy a ton.
Yeah.
So you end up, there's no bad guy. There's only victims of the fear of scarcity. Mm-hmm. So you can't reason with that because I just don't think you can. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think you can really reason out those fears.
No, I mean, because you can't say for sure that like no one is going to buy up all the toilet paper and that, you're totally going to be able to get toilet paper next month. You can't. So
well, yeah. Well, and they are going to buy it up because they're going to be the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what can you do? I mean, there's plenty of toilet paper here. Luckily, I buy my toilet paper at Sam's Club anyway, so I have a year's worth of toilet paper in my house.
There you go.
So, I didn't tell this on the show. I know I told you this. Mm-hmm. I was at Sam's Club like right when people were starting to get really freaked out about the coronavirus like 2 weeks ago. and or maybe a week ago, and I needed toilet paper and bleach and just some household things, the kind of things you buy like a couple times a year. And so I'm filling my cart, and I'm literally getting paranoid because I see people like rolling their carts around, and they have like 3 giant things of water and toilet paper things and stuff like that. And I remember literally getting in my car and thinking that I'm gonna call you and tell you like, holy shit, people really are freaking out. And then I stopped and went, this was no different than any other visit I've ever meant to Sam's. Sam's, everybody looks like a prepper at Sam's.
Yeah.
Because we're all buying like a lot of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, because then I literally stopped and I was like, have I ever seen people buy that much bottled water? And I was like, yes, every time I'm at Sam's Club. It was probably on sale. Yeah. But it was funny that, I had that moment though, where I started to go like, maybe the panic is real. And then when I felt like, oh my God, the panic's real, there is like this itch in me to, buy the peroxide I don't really need or to, whatever. Cause I'm like, holy crap, what if I can't get this later?
Yeah.
It's scary. I mean, it's the same thing when a big snowstorm comes and everybody runs out and buys bread, milk, and toilet paper. They're just afraid that they won't be able to get it later. So they're getting it now. It's not that they think that, the bread, milk, and toilet paper is going to melt the snow. It's not that they think that the toilet paper is going to cure the coronavirus. They're just afraid that everything is going to be miserable. Everyone's going to be sick and they can't wipe their ass. That sounds like hell. That sounds like living in hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So, but see, unlike you, I work at home. I'm around people very minimally. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that this will all be mostly blown over by August when I have to travel.
Yeah.
Like I have to travel like flying. Because I would like it to be over by then, so that it doesn't affect my travel and everything. Mm-hmm. Because they've already like canceled South by Southwest and stuff.
Right.
Which that shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah, they also canceled Coachella today or yesterday or whenever.
That's fine.
Okay.
That doesn't bother me. South by Southwest, though, a lot of people worked really hard to have their music and movies showcased and paid a lot of money, and then they canceled it. Yeah,
it is different. Yeah.
But it is, I get it. It's an international event, and people are coming from all over the world, so that's probably like not the best thing.
Yeah.
For controlling an epidemic, and colleges are closing all around me right now.
Yeah. Still not here.
University of Dayton closed, and a bunch of the students, I guess, like marched down the street.
Because they were so happy?
I don't fucking know.
Like, what were they doing?
I don't know. I'll send you the news article. It's stupid. I mean, it's college. It's going to be dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm terrible. Whenever somebody tells me like, that you should watch this person has like a really incredible opinion of the world. I'm like, what do they do for a living? They're like, oh, they're a professor at a college. I'm like, then they don't know anything. Like I immediately dismiss that. I'm like, nothing tells me they know nothing more than if they teach people. No offense to teachers listening. It's more so academics than teachers that just don't know anything. I mean, they just, that's my own opinion. So, but, what I meant to say so since I work from home and I don't worry that much about much of that, you work, in groceries and retail. So like, tell me some stuff. What's going on?
So like, not too much. Actually things aren't really good for my company right now. And I don't mean that business isn't good. Business is awesome. Like way too good for this time of the year for us. But things aren't good in the sense that like it's hard for the people who I work with to find the supplies that we got to get to the peoples. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah, got to get the supplies to the people, and they don't have it in the stores. So then we got to talk to the people, and the people are angry, but not really, but a little bit. So it's just been kind of messing up our stats. So we don't look like we're doing a good job. But the main concern is that I work in 4 different supermarkets, and I actually work in an area that has been already hit by the coronavirus. And honestly, people cough on me all fucking day long, and I don't want to be coughed on anymore.
Well, and so prior to coronavirus, you just allowed the coughing was fine?
I have been so angry for so long about people coughing on me and sneezing on me. I wish I was a different kind of person so that I could just follow people and just beat the shit out of them every time they did it. But I can't, because that's wrong.
Because I gotta be honest, like, if you don't include dogs, I think I've been sneezed on like twice.
That's so nice. I mean, like, it's more coughing than sneezing, which is actually a bigger problem for this, which is bad. But like, it seems wherever I am stationed in stores is like close to the entrance or the exit. And for some reason, there's this thing, and I don't know why, but people really like to cough when they're leaving a grocery store or entering one.
Well, that's good luck. It's good luck to cough when you leave a store.
Okay, so that's what's going on. But they do it within
onto a Jewish girl. Sorry, yes. That's the full part.
Okay. Now I understand. But they do it within like maybe like less than a foot of me always. Ugh. And I mean, a couple weeks ago, there was somebody at one of the grocery stores, an employee who would just walk around the store coughing, not covering her mouth. Please try not to cough next to people or cough into something. I don't even care if you cough into your hand. I just won't touch surfaces. Please stop doing it in the air near me.
Don't cough. Don't cough. Don't cough so close to me.
Exactly.
That's the song.
Yeah.
I'll never forget being on a road trip with a girl I had been dating for a while, and we were driving like a couple hours, and she just sneezed.
Yeah.
I mean, just sneezed into the car, like into the air.
Yeah.
And I literally turned to her. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Cover your mouth when you sneeze."
Yeah.
Are you insane? Like, are you clinically insane? Who doesn't cover their mouth? My buddy Dave has trouble covering his mouth when he sneezes. And then he'll be like, "No, I don't." In fact, I'm like waiting for the text I'll get when this episode airs. Where he goes, "No, I don't."
No,
dude, sometimes you do.
I mean, sometimes like, it's happened so fast that like I'm only like halfway to my arm or something, but I'm always trying.
Well, you could also try to hold it back, as unpleasant as that is, if you can't get yourself fully covered.
Have you ever like just sneezed and didn't know you were going to sneeze?
No, I always have like a hilariously cartoon-like buildup of like,
yes.
At least if it's a good big fucking fat sneeze, you know, not like I got a little tickle in my nose sneeze, like a nice chew.
Mm-hmm.
But I not covering your mouth when you sneeze is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm sorry people cough like directly on you.
It sucks. So like, I do believe, I mean, unless there's the actual county I live in, I think still has just 1 or 2 cases. Now, of course, that doesn't, if I work somewhere else, that doesn't really help me. But unless it like stops spreading over here, you know, like I assume I'm just going to get it unless we luck out and none of the people who are sick go to grocery stores, which sounds hard.
Well, maybe you'll luck out and they live in food deserts.
Oh, that's, yeah. Good for them.
See, it comes around, helps out.
Yeah, I don't know. The county I live in is pretty well off. I mean, I work in, one of them is pretty well off. So they got cars. They can go
from the moment that this has started, from the moment you started telling me like, wow, a lot of people are ordering masks and they're not getting them because we're out of them. You have been completely and utterly certain that you are going to catch coronavirus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Because I have severe anxiety, I'm also scared that I will be asymptomatic and I'll just give it to people, like just for fun, just be walking around, giving it to people. And I was looking on the CDC website and they were like, we know it can, we don't know how it would transmit from people who are asymptomatic. We're still trying to figure that out. So it's like, I can't even stop myself from just giving it to people. So And I'm just going to kill lots of
Typhoid
people.
Michelle.
Exactly.
Typhoid Michelle. Well, I already told you, if you get the illness, it makes you want to be close to people.
Yeah.
And breathe on them. It just affects you psychologically. I hope nobody thinks that that's information, because
No, it's
not even vaguely true. It's just a funny horror movie thought. It makes you want to sit extra close to people and tell them about your day.
Yes.
So, then the most important question, if you get coronavirus, you're still going to do the show, right?
I don't know how I could do the show, because like, doesn't it just spread all over? Like, can it go through the internet and just get you?
Is it a Trojan? Like,
I don't know.
I don't. I mean, I guess you could. I guess maybe you could. If that's true, then you might already be asymptomatic and have infected me and all of our listeners.
Yeah, or I might have. Yeah. Oh God. Sorry.
Thanks for listening. You can email us at thisshowis awkward@gmail.com or go to awkwardshow.com or whatever. See you next time.